Hey there guys, how's it going? It's Ron from AverageCanadianTech here. Today we got a Google Pixel 6 in for a screen repair. I haven't done this one yet for screen, I've done it for FRP. But yeah, let's get into it. As you can see here, the screen is just messed up. It still turns on, but quite honestly, I've never seen an AMOLED where the pixels are basically dead. They're showing their colors like, when they're turned off, but they're trying their best. It's just not working. It's on right now, and as you can see, it just flashes. It doesn't show anything from the software or anything like that. It did show the boot screen, but it won't show anything further than that. So let's get it replaced. You'd be surprised how easy this actually is. Google made it almost incredibly simple for what an Android, compared to most Android phones, I should say. You don't have to go through the back. You don't have to do anything silly like that. You just have to open up the front, take the screen off, put the new screen on, obviously glue it down, and you're done. The only downside is that the screen is rather expensive. They are AMOLEDs, and they're not the solid ones, or the soft AMOLEDs, so they are quite expensive if you do break the screen. If you need to even just buy the part, it's going to be well over $100 for sure. You can cheap out and get cheaper quality screens, but you won't have this in-screen fingerprint hole. As you can see, the pixels there do have the cutout for the fingerprint scanner to go through. But we're going to find out something later about the fingerprint scanner on this phone that, I just praised it for having an easy to remove screen and easy to replace screen. The fingerprint scanner, anything but that. So I'll show you that in a sec. As you can see, the connection flips around, and it will go into the motherboard. But anyway, we've been heating up the phone in the meantime. We're heated up to about 80 degrees Celsius. We use a bit of rubbing alcohol and take our razor, and we try and dig in. Now be careful here, there is a plastic frame. Typically, if your new one has this frame on it, you can just unlatch the plastic frame and pull it out that way. It's a lot easier, less glue to go through. But because my screen doesn't have that plastic frame, and I've learned from experience on Motorola's that they like to break because they're incredibly thin little plastic pieces, I'm just gonna remove the screen from that frame with doing my best to not damage that frame. You gotta be very careful. I'm just gonna dig in a little bit and just work my razor around the edge. So far so good. When we're lifting up the screen, we want to lift it up evenly and not all at once, because it can lift away that plastic frame if you do try and just pull it all the way like I usually do in some other videos. Just got to be slow and patient with it. Pretty much done working on the left side here. Now we're going to move over to the right side. Almost there. As you can see, I made the screen somehow worse. Now it just is a white line up top instead of all flickering. Anyway, it's pretty much off at this point. I'm just trying to be extra careful because I don't want to damage that plastic frame. And there we go, it's pretty much off now. Now the only thing holding it down, the connection I mean, is a metal just a metal piece that goes over top of it. There's no screws or anything like that. I wouldn't recommend using your nail to try and dig it out. It is a little bit sharp, so don't cut yourself. As you can see, I'm struggling pretty hard to get it, and thankfully didn't cut myself, but a metal pair of tweezers like this, or even a plastic spudger, would be a lot easier. As you can see, it does lift it up pretty easily, and then you can just pull it up and away, revealing the Lego style connection underneath. Now we get the screen disconnected. Normally it's good practice to disconnect the battery when doing these phones, but I mean, I've never broken a Pixel not disconnecting the battery in the past, so hopefully the Pixel 6 is not the first. What you see me doing here is I'm just going to speed through cleaning up the frame a little bit. I'm not even going to show the whole process because it did take a while. But all I can say is when you're doing it, make sure that all the glass and glue is gone. If it's not, you're going to damage your new screen, simple as that. Onto the fingerprint scanner. As you can see, I'm just putting a lot of rubbing alcohol on it again. A little bit of heat would probably help too in this case. It probably would have prevented what I'm about to do next, but what can you do? I thought it would just be, lightly glued in, given it's a fingerprint scanner, and, who puts a bare camera sensor, on the back of the screen without any protection? But Similar to Samsung's, ultrasonic fingerprint scanner that they have built into the screens, Google decided to do their optical one. At least it looks optical. I don't think it's the ultrasonic one. When I flip it around in a sec, I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. As you can see, it's incredibly glued in. I don't know why they made it so hard. Even the ribbon cable is a little bit difficult to get off. But now we're actually pulling on the fingerprint scanner itself, just trying to, again, apply even pressure. You'll see right here, right there, I'm pretty sure I snapped the camera lens. Because you're not supposed to bend this piece whatsoever. It literally is just a bare camera lens on the back. As you can see right here, zooming in. Who thought this was a good idea? I don't know. Usually they're recessed a little bit and have some protection over them, like plastic. This one just not even close, just sitting on the back of the screen. As you can see, a little connection there is part of the ribbon cable that goes for the screen connection. But yeah, I don't think this fingerprint scanner is going to work anymore, but we're going to try and put it on the new screen anyway, just in case. It's funny how Google does their phones. They were really focused on, I know the 4 was a while ago, but they were really focused on doing the Face ID equivalent with that little radar thing. But then they just said, oh, we're not going to put a fingerprint scanner on that. And on the Pixel 5, they just said, the radar sucked. We're just going to go back to the normal capacitive fingerprint scanner. I mean, now on the Pixel 6, they went with the in-screen one, and it's... I'd just rather them go back to the original one at this point. They, at least in terms of repairability, not that great. But anyway, enough ranting about the fingerprint scanner. It's just a minor part of the phone overall. We're going to get the glue on. As you see, it's CP0001, just for the type of glue I'm using, if you're wondering. Get it all around the edges. Just the edges. Don't put it anywhere on the inside, like on the motherboard or battery. You don't want to do that. Get the screen connected up. Make sure it is fully connected. It is a little bit tricky. Took me a couple tries, but as you can see, just trying to make sure it clicks in all the way. I do end up using the metal tool again just to, lightly put pressure on it, make sure it's all clicked in. And if it's in all the way, your phone should turn on. You might have to hold power and volume down to get it to soft reboot, but as you can see, the screen is on right now and seems to be functioning. So now let's just push it down, get it, put into the frame, get it clamped down, and we just gotta wait for the glue to dry. And that's how easy it is. We are forgetting one piece though. This is kind of important, because if you don't put this in, your screen can disconnect on you in the future. That metal piece obviously needs to go back in. With no screws, it's pretty easy. I thought it would be difficult, given that I bent it a little bit out of shape, but no, it clicked into place just fine. No problems there. Definitely an easy screen repair, I'd say. What I'm doing here is I'm just making sure that any plastic pieces are, not covering the camera lens or anything like that underneath. Your selfies will get affected if you have a little plastic piece underneath. And now I'm just putting in pressure, putting it into the frame a little bit, and then we're just going to clamp it down. That means we're pretty much done this repair. That's how you do a Google Pixel 6. A 6 Pro, I think this is. I don't think it's a 6 Pro. It's a Google Pixel 6. They look very similar, but the 6 has a bigger screen and less bezels, I think. This is just the Google Pixel 6. The 6 Pro might be a little bit different, but shouldn't be much different. I hope to get one in the future to, get it started and show you guys how to do that as well. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it for whatever reason, feel free to let me know why in the comments. Helps out just as much. But yeah, we're just going to test that out a little bit further, and we're going to call it a day. One thing I like to test as well, used to just show doing the the touchpad on the emergency call. Now I like to do the brightness as well, just to make sure it's doing that properly. It seems to be doing that here. So anyways, have a good one, guys. Stay safe, and peace.